I swear, Josh Hart is the funniest player in the NBA, and he had his best game last night of his career. I mean, he literally broke an NBA record. Hart, just that fall away, fade away. This has become automatic. And then Mikal Bridges, this just kind of sums up how Mikal's played lately. Misses badly on this open layup, but Hart sticks with it, gets the rebound, and gets it to go. This one right here, guys, was off of a steal. Hart had two of them, and both resulted in buckets, which you love to see. And this just opens up the entire offense as well because like TJ McConnell is just too small and undersized to defend the shot. And Hart has gotten so comfortable with it that he's going to make it pretty much every single time. It's just Hart adding in things to his game. He's shooting a career high from three as well. And then we know what he does on the glass. I mean, Hart was phenomenal, man. He's going to sit in the corner here and knock this one down. See, Obi Toppin has a tendency to leave his feet. He chooses not to here, and then, well, Hart just has too much space. And then when Obi does leave his feet, guys blow right by him. So he's got to make a decision, and Hart literally was 5 of 5 from 3, which just sounds like I'm lying, but I'm not, I promise. And he just attacks Huff, who's averaging multiple blocks a night, and he's just no match for Hart. And you literally can't make this up. Is the next play, Obi leaves his feet, goes flying, and then Hart just attacks the rim protector. That's very difficult at 6'4" to do. I don't know how tall Huff is, but man, that is a grown man finish by Josh Hart, who's flexing on him. And then Mitch just offensive rebound to Hart with that unselfish pass to Cat. Honestly, Hart probably could have shot this if I'm being honest, but he realizes that Zubac isn't even looking. Like, let me just make the right play and go find Cat for the dunk. I would have shot that. That's probably why I'm not in the NBA. But Hart in the corner for three, knocking it down, man. Let's go. And Alvarado had himself a night with no Brunson. He stepped up. And Hart, again, just letting it fly. And that's not it. Because on this one, off the dribble this time, I mean, Josh Hart looking like prime Klay Thompson in a Game 6. I mean, are you kidding me? Shepard can't believe it. And then in the third quarter, I mean, the Knicks, the start of it wasn't ideal the first couple of minutes, but then they just completely ran away with it. And it's just all Josh Hart. I mean, this time he's cutting baseline and getting this one to go over the taller Walker. Hart is doing it all. Mikal in the corner, and then just finds Hart again. Unselfish pass by Mikal. Mikal, like, if we're being honest, any version of Mikal shoots this besides the current one. But again, it's just right play, find Hart, and the Knicks get a bucket off of it. And I was wondering how Hart got so open. Cat sets an illegal screen right here. You can't really see it, but if you saw it live, you know what I'm talking about. And then, man, that's got to hurt for Neesmith. Man, this is completely off topic, but Clyde made a joke during the game saying that the Knicks should have done this to him in the playoffs. And if they actually had, then they would have won. They literally would have beat the Pacers. Because in game one, Neesmith couldn't, speaking of Klay Thompson, I mean, dude, I'll never forget that game unless the Knicks get a championship. Like, that'll haunt me forever. Hart, just that hop, step, fall back, baby jumper, gets it to go. Hart with a mid-range is crazy, bro. But that's the work he's put in. And then he fights through this contact and one. Man, Huff and Obi, come on, man. So Josh Hart had one of the craziest games in NBA history last night. He became the first player with 30-plus points, 5-plus rebounds, 5-plus assists, 5-plus threes, and 90-plus field goal percentage. Hart didn't even play in the fourth quarter, which just goes to show how great he was. And on the defensive side of the ball, Hart had 2 steals. Both of them led to buckets. He was a plus 18. The Knicks ended up winning by 26 points, which is crazy because this was a back and forth game for the majority. But eventually in the fourth, the Knicks just ran away with it. No Brunson, Deuce McBride coming back for the playoffs. Things are starting to look good for the Knicks. They've won 4 in a row. It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. There's been a lot of highs this season. There's been a lot of lows. But the bottom line is that this is without question. Stephen A. doesn't say many things that are true about the Knicks. One of them he did say on air this morning is that this is the best chance the Knicks have had to make the NBA Finals since 1999. And Knicks coaches, they use this game specifically as an example to why they like him in the starting lineup. And it's very obvious if you watch the Knicks every night that the team is significantly better when he plays. The issue is that, well, the Pacers aren't very good. And teams that are, the Celtics, the Pistons, the Thunder, they're going to have a game plan ready to go to basically dare Hart to beat them. And, like, Hart has been incredible. But can he do this every night? Probably not, right? Not very many guys in the NBA can. They're going to put their centers on Hart, and then they're going to help off of him. And if Josh Hart beats them that night, then they'll live with it. But Brunson and Cat, they're going to refuse to let that happen. And all of a sudden, Mikal Bridges has struggled, and that's also another advantage as well, is Mikal 4 of 12 has been a common occurrence of late. So I do love Josh Hart. I think his energy is contagious. I love his ability to rebound, to defend. He's tough. He's fearless. He's hilarious, man. I think Hart's the funniest player on the team, and there's some funny guys for sure. I love the podcast. But the Knicks, they need to have a game plan ready to go to utilize Hart against these top teams. Because if Mike Brown gets out coached, that's a serious problem. And he certainly has. He has been out coached at times this season, especially against JJ Redick. Like if a team goes into a zone defense or they're hedging off of whoever's on Hart, like the Knicks need to be able to beat that because that was the problem last year. That's the main problem right now. But if Hart's going to knock down open threes at a 40% clip, because if Hart takes 15 threes and you math guys, I don't know how much he'd have to make to be 40% or close to it. But if Hart's doing that, the Knicks are going to be in a great spot. But if he's not, then it basically hurts the entire team to that point. And we've seen Tibbs go to his bench more, go to Mitch. I mean, like going to Mitch really didn't work if I'm being honest with you. I'm not saying that it's Mitch's fault, but Mitch and Cat probably the Knicks aren't at their best when they're both out there. So, I mean, you could go to Shaman over Hart, but like again, without Hart, yeah, sure, things are bad, but things are good, but there's way more bad than there is good. So like that's the one thing that kind of hurts the Knicks. So that's exactly why I'm interested to see what kind of happens the rest of the season because it really will come down to obviously defense and hitting clutch shots and not turning it over and making the shots you're supposed to. But literally how the Knicks utilize Hart, I think, is going to be as big as anything. Brunson's going to have a good playoffs. Like Cat is going to have some good games, probably some off games. Like kind of expect that to this point. But it's what do you get out of Josh Hart? What do you get out of Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson? I trust Deuce and Mitch. Like I know what I'm gonna get out of a lot of players, but it's just Josh Hart. I mean, if Hart can show up like this every single night, I'm not saying he needs 30 and 10 on 90% plus from the field. But if Hart just is shooting in rhythm, if Hart's missing shots, cool. But if he's in rhythm and just shooting with confidence, that's kind of the thing. So I've watched every Knicks game basically my entire life since I was 13 years old, and there hasn't been a guy that I can think of that does what Josh Hart does. I mean, he just makes everyone else around him better, and the energy picks up. Like I love Josh Hart's game, but against the top dogs in the playoffs, when things start to slow down a little bit, I want to see what Hart can do, and that's something that I'm going to be talking about all the time in the channel. So if you enjoy these type of videos, then subscribe because I'm kind of desperate right now, man. YouTube keeps hiding me. And I think the Knicks can honestly beat anyone as long as players buy into the system, specifically Cat, who clearly has done that the last several months. I mean, Cat has been unbelievable. And Mikal Bridges, who just continues to struggle. I mean, in Mikal's defense, he was a plus 28 last night, which was a game high in 33 minutes, but 4 of 12 from the field. Mikal just has not been able to get into a rhythm. I do think, though, in the playoffs, Mikal, when it matters most, will show up. And I say that because they don't beat the Celtics, the Knicks, without Mikal.